Africa Independent Television.
AIT, sharing the African experience.
Are you looking for a property to buy or lease? Are you tired of buying fake property from unregistered agents? Then this is good news for you. My Property and I is a real estate management program. Comes your way every Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. on Africa Independent Television, AIT. Contrary people, una dey hear me so? I say My Property and I go tanda for your television every Tuesday 5:30 p.m. to give una all the tori about property for our state and how to get better one. We go dey bring una people wey sabi property matter to teach us how to buy and sell property without mago. Join us this Tuesday 5:30 p.m. on AIT Benin. My Property and I. Me sef fit be landlord.
Good day, viewers. Thank you for tuning into the program My Property and I, a real estate management program that gives you background knowledge on how to acquire genuine property, where to acquire genuine property, and possible ways to manage and develop that property. We're having a guest today, a real estate developer who is going to be telling us more on how to acquire genuine property, where to acquire genuine property, and possible ways to manage and develop that property. Thank you for watching to this program.
Are you looking for a property to buy or lease? Are you tired of buying fake property from unregistered agents? Then this is good news for you. My Property and I is a real estate management program. Comes your way every Tuesday 5:30 p.m. on Africa Independent Television, AIT. Contrary people, una dey hear me so? I say My Property and I go tanda for your television every Tuesday 5:30 p.m. to give una all the tori about property for our state and how to get better one. We go dey bring una people wey sabi property matter to teach us how to buy and sell property without mago. Join us this Tuesday 5:30 p.m. on AIT Benin. My Property and I. Me sef fit be landlord.
Welcome back to the program, viewers. With me on the studio is a real estate developer. He's going to be telling us more on how to acquire genuine property and where to acquire genuine property and possible ways to manage and develop that property of yours. Welcome, sir, to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Please, sir, can you tell us more about yourself and more about your business and the business of the offices you...
Thank you. My name is Emerson Amowe Zolowa. I run a rehousing estate company here in Benin City. We buy properties, landed properties in bulks, and so we sell because we operate on the rehousing estate scale. So these are basic things that we currently do, although we do other general land administration, basically in terms of procurement or certificate of occupancy for properties within Edo State. These are side jobs we also do. So this is about the basic things you need to know about what my company is into.
Please, sir, can you tell us what estate is all about? Is it just land or house or stuff? Is there any other addition of estates? What's it all about, sir?
I think the first thing I would say about what the whole estate business is all about in Benin here, it's we've always had landed property issues. It's one of the prime problems that we have had in Benin. So the introduction of Edo Geographic Information Service, one of the invention of the present government of Edo State, now begin to open the prospect of establishing, investors getting interested in establishing rehousing estate business in Edo State, which is currently booming because certificate of occupancy brings stability to land dealings. So before now, the community people has always had issues in terms of selling to possible clients who wish to develop their properties or get a land here. So the rehousing estate business tends to bridge the gap of those lack of trust and the bridge between the lapses of community multiple sales to a client and distrust. I think that's what rehousing estate business is bringing to Edo State generally.
Okay. I would say, how do we invest into this real estate program or this real estate thing? How do we invest into it?
Rehousing estate is on different scales. Alright, first you buy to develop as a sole builder, and sometimes some persons wants to also invest to get multiple lands so as to eventually sell. Okay, so I think they are reliable estate dealers like the one I represent, Overon Consult. You can buy from us at very minimal rates, and you can decide to develop if you want to develop, or at this very level you can decide to invest to get the land now that is a bit cheaper, so that in future either you want to develop or you want to sell for other profitable gains. And so that's about the investment platform that we have, that clients can invest to buy properties from us to either develop in the future or resell in the future.
Okay. Before now, there are a lot of persons complaining about how to acquire genuine property. Some persons buy lands, and at the end of the day, they'll still have some complications, issues as regard these properties. So we just want to ask in this regard, how do acquire genuine property at this time where there seems to be a lot of difficulties on ground to acquire genuine property?
Far back 2018, I was a civil servant. I got a job at Edo Geographic Information Service, where I worked there for about 6 months before I resigned in order for a pursuit for a private sector. So I'm coming for a background of understanding some of these complications of land issues in Edo State, like the multiple sales, the selling of government reserves, and the selling of another people's properties. So I'm coming from a background that I actually understood these multifaceted problems of land and administration in Edo State. And when I was leaving as a staff of Edo GIS, I left with the intention of being in a possible situation like I am now to make appropriate corrections about this, and that's why I established my company, and now we are dealing in rehousing estate business. Now, the first thing that you must understand is that when you buy from community, there are bound to be problems because you might not really understand some of the complexities of having to get land, and that's where the rehousing estate is bridging the gap. All right, we get to interact with the community persons. We understand the leadership structures of each of these communities in Edo State. We negotiate with those team players, the real dealers, or the traditionally empowered people of these communities, to get properties from them. Then when we now get properties from them, we don't stop there. We have to also, there is an issue of Imolu, the traditional thing that you must do in Edo State, that you must pay to the community. We negotiate that. We negotiate almost all the community charges. Oh, sorry, not almost all the community charges, and put it part of the sales of the lands. All right, so you're having a complete package of not having to deal with the communities when you buy from us. Now, we don't stop there. We also understand that some of our buyers, it could take years for them to start developing. So instead, we also secure the land by getting certificates of occupancy for the land. And that's why we are very careful. My company is very, very careful to ensure that the lands that we are buying first is not in government reserve. If it's in government reserve, you won't be able to do CFO for it. So because we must do CFO for our properties to give maximum security to us and to our clients. So we must first of all do our background. We do a search to ensure that the portion of the community given to us does not fall within the confines of government reserve, government acquisition, or if there was an existing CFO, there is not, our estate property is not overlapping with an existing CFO. So we do those findings. Then we take it to another professional level by also looking at the topography of where we're getting the land, so that we know that in the next 20-50 years these places are not prone to flooding. So we do all of these to ensure that when our clients eventually get properties from us, they are not going to be facing the problems that they will face when they get from these communities, because everything has been well negotiated, the property in question has been well secured legally in the eyes of the government. And these are about some of the strategies that I brought coming from the background of having worked with the state government on land administration issues. And so these are some of the experiences that we have brought, and we've been operating for over a year now, and it has been very beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Is there any better place for we to invest into real estate property? Like, should we say there's a better place to invest outside this community or our state or the nation? Is there any better place to invest into real estate management?
There are a lot of, I'm from Benin. I wouldn't want to say that there's a better place for you to invest in properties than in Benin, but we have cities like Lagos that currently have the population. You know, there are two constant things that the world cannot do without: food and shelter. So the more the population of the world increases, the more there will be a need for shelter, and that is housing. And so that's currently the sector that I'm working from. So the more populated these cities are, the more potentials that they have for issues of rehousing, estate development, and that's where Lagos have an edge over every other cities in Nigeria. And so, but Abuja is also a very good place to also invest in, and we're currently hoping to move any moment from now to Abuja, because it's a very stable city and is the federal capital territories and the capital city of Nigeria, and because of a lot of federal parastatals there, so it tends to also have potentials. But like I've said, Benin City, it's a fast-growing economy for rehousing estates, and that's why we're taking advantage of it. And one of the reasons is because of the Edo Geographic Information Service that makes CFO a lot easier to get. So when you have CFO for property, it secures it, and that's why people are now getting to be interested in the rehousing estate sector.
Are you looking for a property to buy or lease? Are you tired of buying fake property from unregistered agents? Then this is good news for you. My Property and I is a real estate management program. Comes your way every Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. on African Independent Television, AIT. Contrary people, una dey hear me so? I say My Property and I go tanda for your television every Tuesday 5:30 p.m. to give una all the tori about property for our state and how to get better one. We go dey bring una people wey sabi property matter to teach us how to buy and sell property without mago. Join us this Tuesday 5:30 p.m. on AIT Benin. My Property and I. Me say fit be landlord.
Is there any challenges where a lot of these persons still comes out, this community boys still comes out to do some harassment, to harass some of your clients, or is there any forms of community persons coming out to harass any of our client, any of your clients?
We looked into that. I've been operating for close to a year now. I can guarantee you that I have phase 1 sold out, and that took us about 4 months to sell about 80 plots of land at Ogbekbe. I'm currently having my second phase at Uti, close to Aduwawa bypass. In all of these dealings, I've never had any of these community people harassing any of our clients, because we tie all loose ends, and we also make them to know, because we've paid for every single charges, and I seek the services of Barrister Asage or Baiwana, who is the current, or past Attorney General of Edo State. He's a legal counsel for my company, because we have to tie every of these loose ends. Every community leaders, every of these agents, the elders have to sign a column. One of the columns they have to sign, if any of your people get close to my estate, haven't paid everything, that they're going to get arrested. So all these things is well understood between the community and my company. And then these are about the things that we do that that makes me feel that it is best to buy from rehousing estates, because you're not going to be having any challenges. Imagine there are problems, all right? You don't have to deal with any of these problems if you buy from us, all right? You have to hold us responsible for any possible problems. So we shed our buyers from any of these possible problems, from harassment, from issues of people coming to squish on your land and all of that. So these things are well taken care of.
What classes of persons are likely to invest into your real estate or real estate programs?
But if you're talking about those from from the poor background, and those from the average background, and those from the wealthy background, all classes, because we also create flexibility of payment plan. You don't have to pay everything at once. We give months for you to gradually pay. We encourage you to pay. If you make your first payment, you can go and start developing. No one is going to come harass you. We encourage, and that's why we sell as cheap as possible. My estate is currently the cheapest estate in Edo State. That I can tell authoritatively, because I've had dealings with other estate agents, comprising of the packages that is involved. You don't get to pay any of these community charges. We get to constantly do the roads. We get to give you CFO for the land, and these are all inside. And when we still sell below ₦1 million, none of our properties is currently a plot that is currently above ₦1 million. It's either it's 800,000 or 900,000. So we're trying to make it as best as possible. First, we're building integrity. For people to start trusting the system, because we discovered that the bulk of the Edo indigents are in diaspora, they're in overseas, and a lot of these community personnel. So a lot of these people are now moving from Benin to Lagos, because they feel that when you get a property in Lagos, there's no hassles. there are zero worries. All right, and so, but now my company wants to build that trust again, that trust whereby you can buy from us and not have to worry about any of these things. And we also make it as cheap as possible, so that whatever classes that you mentioned can always, and with the flexibility plan, whatever classes of people in Edo State or outside Edo State, they can always get from us because it's quite cheap.
Yes, sir. What would the public stand to gain when they invest into real estate management?
You don't have security problems. Or the kind of security problems we are talking about is not Boko Haram and herdsmen. That one is done by the government, either the state or the federal. What I'm saying is that no one can take your land from you when you get from us. That's the first thing. All right. You will not have to deal with the community of come today, come tomorrow. These things are not involved. You're dealing directly with us, and you don't have to deal with the community. So it's stress-free, all right, and your lands are secured. These are parts of the benefit, and all the benefits that people get right now. We are also trying to also do some of the community. I also come from an historical background. I'm quite conversant with the history of these land. All right, so I try to, whenever I site an estate, for example, we currently have a phase at Ute. All right, what I do is that I try to use my estate to tell the history of that community. So I'm leaving a legacy. I'm not just going there to get a bulk of their lands. I'm also trying to give back by doing a documentary about the community. And my estate, my current estate at Ute is called Ise Estate. Ise, it's one of the heroes of Edo land. So I'm also trying to use my estate to glorify the history of the land by naming each of these estates to heroes and heroines of Edo land. So I am giving, I'm not just collecting from the people, all right, I'm also giving back to the people. And before the year runs out, we're going to be organizing history competitions where we can either give good money, not like 100,000, maybe like $500,000 to winners, or plots of land to winners. So to also encourage young people to pick interest in Benin or Edo history.
There are a lot of people outside the country who would want to invest into real estate, not just investing, to also start up their real estate programs, real estate also. And there are a lot of people even in Nigeria here who would want to also invest into real estate. What advice do you have for them?
My advice to potential investors is that we have a lot of work that can still be that is needed to be done as regards rehousing estate. And one area I want to advise them to understand that I studied I took a look at the demographic study of Edo State, how overcrowded the city centers are. All right, and if you want to pick interest, I feel that people should start going to the outskirts of Benin to start establishing these estates so as to decongest Benin City. And it's a very lucrative business if you understand some of the complexities about it. We don't fall the victim of having to do your plan. But all I can say is that at the end of the day, if you put your heart into it and you understand the complexities of it, I'm sure that it's a good business to invest in. Probably one of the best business to invest in presently now in Benin, whether you're from diaspora basis and or you're from within the confines of Nigeria. So if you can be able to connect all the dots very well, I'm sure that there are going to be zero problems when as an investor into rehousing estates.
Thank you for joining us on today's program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you viewers for watching to this program. If you're just joining us, you're watching the program My Property and I, a real estate management program that gives you background knowledge on how to acquire genuine property, where to acquire genuine property, and possible ways to manage and develop that property. I'm your host, Osarime Gibjonim is my name. Thank you for watching to this program.
Are you looking for a property to buy or lease? Are you tired of buying fake property from unregistered agents? Then this is good news for you. My Property and I is a real estate management program. Comes your way every Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. on African Independent Television, AIT. Contrary people, una dey hear me so? I say My Property and I go tanda for your television every Tuesday 5:30 p.m. to give una all the tori about property for our state and how to get better one. We go dey bring una people wey sabi property matter to teach us how to buy and sell property without mago. Join us this Tuesday 5:30 p.m. on AIT Benin. My Property and I. Me sef fit be landlord.
Africa Independent Television. Africa Independent Television.
AIT, sharing